Welcome to Milsurp Minutes. I'm Nick. Today we will be taking a brief look and discussing some of the interesting accessories for the Chinese-made Type 53 Mosin Nagant carbine. But before I begin this presentation, allow me to give a reminder if you haven't yet had the opportunity to watch one of my previous videos detailing the history of the Type 53. I highly encourage you to do so. It serves as a foundational backdrop for the topic of today's video. Now that we have that out of the way, we can discuss what I'm wearing. This is a chest rig for the Type 53 Mosin Nagant. While some of you may be well acquainted with the ubiquitous Chinese AK-47 and SKS style chest rigs commonly cited at gun shows and military surplus stores, few may be aware of the existence of this particular gear I discovered during the extensive research I conducted for my presentation on the Type 53 carbine. To fully appreciate the significance of this chest rig, it's imperative to contextualize it within the setting of the armed forces it served in the vast expanse of China's military landscape. We encounter three distinct entities: the People's Liberation Army, the People's Armed Police, and the People's Militia. Within the ranks of the latter, the People's Militia, is where we find the most common use of this equipment. The People's Militia serves many roles, but in the context of this equipment, they act as a reservist regional defense force among other duties in China, not unlike the U.S. Army National Guard, that act as a local military force that responds to civil unrest and disaster recovery efforts, among other situations. These chest rigs entered service in the late 1950s, and I believe they may have still been in service as late as the 1980s. This also does mean that many of these ammunition belts were likely used during the Vietnam War. However, I was not able to find any concrete evidence to support this claim. Now that we have the history covered, let's go to the range and demonstrate its use. So, we're out here in the at the range. Got my Type 53, got the 53 chest rig, and now I'm going to show you guys how to reload from this thing. But first, we got to run this thing dry. The method of donning the Type 53 chest rig is fairly straightforward. Simply grasp the two straps where they intersect, slip your arms through the left and right openings respectively, and put your head through the middle opening. And tying the straps at the rear secures the pouch snugly in place. As we turn our attention to the rig's front face, we see flaps adorning each individual cell, fastened securely by straps that are cinched together and tied for closure. Inside each pouch, you can comfortably find 2 full clips for the Mosin, bringing the total ammo loadout of this vest to 100 rounds of ammunition on 20 stripper clips in 10 individual cells. Supposedly, there is a variant that utilizes the wooden toggles akin to those found on the Type 56 AK and SKS chest rigs. Yet, despite a diligent search, I have yet to see an example of that variant in person or available for sale. Examples of this version of the Type 53 occasionally show up online on websites such as AliExpress and eBay, typically fetching prices in the range of $40 to $50. I purchased my chest rig on AliExpress as well as this original Type 53 sling, which if I can find an example of them still online, I will put a link to them below in the description. Also, on AliExpress, there's a bunch of very interesting Chinese military equipment from the Cold War and Vietnam War era that were never imported in the quantities as, say, the AK chest rig or the SKS chest rig. And there were some interesting pieces. I'm probably going to have some show up in future videos, though, as I get them in. Specifically stuff pertaining to the Makarov, or in their case the Type 59, or the Tokarev, the Type 54. While these rigs offer novelty and practicality for the milsurp shooter, serving as vessels for carrying ammunition for various other types of military surplus firearms, their price may give pause for consideration. One might find an M1 Garand cartridge belt available here in the United States for purchase at a similar price or less than the cost of acquiring one of these chest rigs, but it does the same job. Nevertheless, despite their simple design, these chest rigs bear witness to a lineage of Chinese ammunition carrying equipment. These chest rigs harken back to the Second World War, when similar bandoliers were an essential part of a nationalist soldier's kit. From weapons like the iconic C96 Mauser pistol to the Chiang Kai-shek rifle, similar chest rigs were used and would serve long after the Type 53 had been superseded. Similar pouches were made for weapons such as the Type 63, the Type 79, and the Type 85, among others. In closing, I trust this brief presentation has shed light on a lesser-known piece of Vietnam War-era military gear. If you found this video engaging, I invite you to show your support by liking, subscribing, and leaving your thoughts in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.